I'm shooting the bad guy, so I can barely see. Hello and welcome to Prop Culture, your look into the world of replica prop and costume making. I'm your host, Bill Duran, and I just went to my very first Maker Faire. Now granted, it was a mini Maker Faire. A couple of weeks ago they had the big cool one down in the Bay Area, I think. Actually, I have no idea where it is, but everyone I know who lives in and around San Francisco went to it and it looked really cool. They had a bunch of really big fire things and all these crazy contraptions. The Seattle Mini Maker Faire was, as the name would imply, much smaller, but it was still really cool and a lot of cool stuff there for makers. First of all, I met a bunch of amazing people, makers and builders and innovative type people, including the Maker House and the Metrics Create Space, which are both sort of hacker spaces here in Seattle. I haven't had a chance to go meet them at their actual spaces because I'm kind of a hermit, but it was cool to meet them at the show and exchange information. There were also a bunch of 3D printers there, and it's always cool to go be able to check those out in person so that you get an idea of what the detail is and how they work and do their thing. Of course, MakerBot was there and they had some machines printing out some cool things, but there was also the new open beam 3D printer with like 3 arm things, and it made a little Totoro. It was pretty sweet. I got to meet those guys and check out all of their 3D printing things, and that was really cool, and now I want one, like really bad. Among a whole bunch of other really cool things, I saw this guy who does these little puzzles out of hardwoods, and I picked up a little piece and thought, this isn't laser cut. It was super detailed and everything, but it didn't have burn marks or anything on it like it was laser cut. And I asked the guy and he said, oh, yeah, I used my scroll saw. Like, seriously old school, with a blade that was like a hair thin. It was so cool. So yeah, like I got my scroll saw here and I love this thing and I use it all the time. And that guy does these super complicated puzzles with the scroll saw. So it's not just people with all these crazy new gadgets and everything. It's also makers and people who are just taking an old-fashioned sort of trade and making something new with it, which was really inspiring. Finally, I got to try out the Oculus Rift, which was awesome. A company called Faire was using it along with a gun that had motion control points on it to track both your head and the gun in a 3D space, so that when you were looking through the visor, you saw the gun you were holding floating around there and you could aim and shoot it and hit targets and stuff. That was really fun. It wouldn't fit over my glasses, so I had to take my glasses off, so looking through it without having adjusted it or anything, it was a little blurry. But the experience was pretty cool, and if you get a chance to try out an Oculus Rift, especially one that comes with a gun, then you should definitely jump at that chance. So I hope the Seattle Mini Maker Faire one day becomes a giant Maker Faire and we get more bigger things in there. But if you're in the area next year and you want to throw 15 bucks at a cool thing, I highly recommend you go check that out. I'll be there again next year for sure. Lastly, guys, I'd like to check in with my Kickstarter. We made it in the first week up to 66% funded, and I am totally blown away by that. I wasn't expecting it to jump up quite so fast, but we're not there yet. We gotta hit that 100%, and then I've got some really awesome stretch goals planned for after we get funded. So make sure you share that. PropSpaceGuns.com will get you there, and hopefully in another week or so I will be shooting my thanks for funding me video, so look forward to that. Anyway, that's it for Prop Culture this week, guys. Please subscribe, go check out my Twitter at Chinbeard and Facebook.com/punishedprops. You go out there and make something. Bye.